So, here we go.
With childish frustrations and complexes, the police are searching for James Thomas.
Hello. You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang. It is currently 7:07 p.m. Night Movie Gang. I'm here with my buddy Joseph. Say hi.
Hello.
Hey. And for those of you, if this is your first episode, this is a show where we talk about primarily horror, science fiction films, lesser known. Like the late night movie. Like fucking. I always say my vibe is like of this is like you're up at like 1 a.m. flipping through channels, weird channels on cable TV, and like weird movies that you run across. That's the kind of vibe
us.
I want to curate. Yeah,
We're the weirdos on public access.
We're the weirdos, and we went and saw a weirdo movie recently. The movie we're talking about today is a new film. We're talking about Ash.
5 people have seen.
5 people have seen this movie. Has reportedly at this point, according to Wikipedia, has grossed $689,144 thus far at the box office, which isn't great. It's a little bit like it's a bit hard to tell exactly how awful that is without knowing the budget, which the reported budget for this movie is not. I can't find it anywhere, and but that is a common thing for this production company, which we will get into. But yeah, Ash is a 2025 American science fiction horror thriller film directed by Flying Lotus, who is an American. He's mostly known as a DJ, record producer, rapper, man. I haven't heard a lot of his stuff, but he's pretty popular. He has a small role in the movie. But yeah, like long story short, with what this movie is about, as far as like what we could just like if someone said like, hey, what's Ash about? Basically, we follow the movie opens
sci-fi horror. That's all you need to know.
It is half sci-fi, it is half horror, and in my opinion, one half is done better than the other. Basically, it's about a woman who wakes up on a weird space station on a weird planet covered in ash. She doesn't really. Her memory's like all fractured, and something happened to her crew, and it's a bit of a mystery type thing. And Jesse from Breaking Bad is in it.
As himself.
Fun fact: originally, Tessa Thompson and Joseph Gordon-Levitt were cast as the 2 lead roles in this movie. Which I really wonder what the energy would have been with them too, because I feel like they would have a very different kind of dynamic that Jesse, Aaron Paul, and this actress Eliza.
Yeah,
Eliza.
I wasn't super impressed with the actual actors in this movie, to be honest.
Oh, that's where I know her from. Okay, did you see Baby Driver?
I did.
She's Darling from Baby Driver.
I just Google image searched her too. She's very familiar. She was in Men in Black International, which we just had on the show, which shows you how forgettable that movie is.
Who did she play in Men in Black?
She was one of the leads. She was the lead opposite Chris Hemsworth. No, she was not.
That was Tessa Thompson. In Men in Black.
I thought that's who we were talking about.
No.
Oh, the person who's actually in. No, I don't fucking know who she is.
The person who's actually in the movie. No, she's Darling from Baby Driver, which is crazy because I thought she was actually good in that movie. I don't.
She was fine. Yeah.
But I thought her performance in that movie was way more believable and interesting than this movie. In my opinion.
She wasn't the lead.
She wasn't the lead in Baby Driver either. But
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. In Baby Driver, she wasn't the lead, so she didn't really have that much of a chance to disappoint.
Yeah. So, Joseph, with this movie, you kind of brought it more to my attention than me bringing it to you. I feel like most of the time I'll be like, we're talking about this week, but you brought this in. How did you find out about this movie? What did you hear about it? What were your expectations going in? Like, what attracted you to it? Give me your history with this.
I saw the trailer for it in front of the last movie we saw in theaters, which I can't remember what that was, but we talked about it on the show.
That you and I saw in theaters?
Yes.
What do we see last? It was a double date.
Yes. Yeah. What did we see?
What the fuck did we see?
Our memories are shot, dude. You hit a certain age and it just all falls apart.
This is what Letterboxd is for, which by the folks at home follow me up.
What did we watch?
We Mickey 17.
Oh yeah,
a much better sci-fi movie.
It is a better movie. We saw a trailer for it, and this movie has a super striking visual style to it, which really appealed to me in the trailer. And I was like, I need to see that movie because that movie looks really cool visually. Like it has like all these like trippy, like kaleidoscopic, like liquid effects and stuff. Like it's not afraid to just show you something cool, and it's like that's exactly what I want.
There's a lot of really big, vibrant colors and like a lot of very cool neon landscapes, which
utilizes the medium of film.
I'm sure your cyberpunked out brain appreciated.
I'm also super obsessed with Cyberpunk right now because I'm like learning the tabletop game and everything.
I haven't played it since I last saw you, but I just haven't had time. But I've been itching to get back into it. And
it's a great, the video game is one of the best ever made in my opinion. But anyway,
our next live stream will be a fun live stream. Just start a fresh Cyberpunk campaign. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saving that for the future
because it's so cinematic. Then we went and saw it, and I thought it looked cool at times, but it was disappointing as far as like the actual film itself for me, which is sad.
Yeah, I feel like like we've been saying, and I kind of stick to this as far as it goes. This movie takes a lot of inspiration from a fuck ton of other movies.
Yes.
The biggest ones I'd probably say for me personally that it reminds me of is Event Horizon feels like a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking Event Horizon the whole time.
Like a big inspiration on this. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
I feel like there's definitely echoes of that kind of dynamic with the characters in this movie. And The Thing and Alien kind of combined, I feel like what I've seen. So,
and anime.
What got me
general?
Yeah, anime in general. What got me excited to go see this movie was one of the reviewers I follow. Which, folks at home, if you want to find a new kind of movie reviewer who mostly reviews movie like this, check out Haunted Hippie on YouTube. She's really cool.
Nice.
But she had a review of Ash and she liked it, and she said that said it straight up, if you like Alien or The Thing, then you'll be into this.
Yeah. It's kind of a worse version of all those things, except maybe Event Horizon, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, it takes all those elements. I think that this movie, it is kind of straight up like half sci-fi, half horror. Yeah. And I think that this movie would have been a lot more successful if it leaned if it leaned into the kind of the dumb horror of it all.
Yeah.
Because sorry, the parts of this movie that shine for me were some of those scenes where like I thought that there was some pretty just like effective. There was an effective use of tone to give like a creepy atmosphere in some of the scarier scenes, like during some of the extended flashback sequences when spoiler alert, there are some people who are possessed by an alien tech creature, goo creature.
Yeah.
And there was some like really creepy moments, not just with the performances, but with the camera work and with the sound design and the way the music was edited that really some cool images.
The horror sequences are great. Yeah.
Yeah. And to go along with that, some just impressive, like I'd say set pieces, kind of fight sequences even. Like from a visual standpoint, I feel like this movie, not necessarily the actual production design itself in terms of what we're seeing, but as far as like, I think everything is presented visually very well, and I feel like a lot of that probably has to do with Flying Lotus. Has experience, like it has that music video kind of.
That's what. Yeah, this was a solid comic book. Like it looked super. Like it seemed like the visuals of this movie were like first and foremost on their mind the whole time while they were making it. And the script suffers for it, which is sad because this movie, like it has like a weird pacing issue where it's kind of trying to it's kind of trying to have this like slow methodical pace a lot of the time and have like all this weight to it, like a Denis Villeneuve movie, but it just doesn't have the substance to back that up at all.
I think
which is sad. It's like the definition of style over substance for me.
I think they set up some really interesting questions, and I feel I was most sucked in on a sci-fi level just in the first third, just because I was wondering like what the fuck is going on with this planet and what's happening to her. What's this big weird waving energy thing in the sky that she sees in the first 5 minutes, like some kind of eldritch.
Yeah, it's got this. Yeah, this big. Like that's cool, and the answer is very disappointing.
Yeah, no, like the actual reveals of what
it's like the necromorphs meet the Daleks, pretty much.
Exactly. Like the reveals of what
from Dead Space.
Yeah,
and Doctor Who.
The reveals of what comes later. It's not the actual ideas themselves as to what it is. Isn't necessarily bad, but it's just not presented in like a super interesting or original way. And then also, there are some character decisions and reactions later in this movie that just make beyond Prometheus levels of dumb.
Yeah,
you know,
this crew and the Prometheus crew have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Except this crew is way hotter.
This crew is way hotter. I was about to say. Yeah, why is we were saying that like when there are some flashbacks where we see the whole crew, it's like, why is everyone so pretty?
Why is everyone so attractive? This place makes me feel uncomfortable.
I feel like they could have written in something like, I don't know, like we've chosen some Gattaca shit where like we've chosen genetically perfect candidates or whatever to go calling it. Like if they had if they said something like that, then that might have. But it was like a little weird, like, yeah, they just sent in all these supermodels to space.
Yeah, really, I just think it's because here's like a list of shots that the director really wanted to get that he thought looked cool, and he needed a really pretty person to be in that shot.
Yeah.
Like there's this really cool shot that's like she's got this like hollow screen window, and she just turns it to like red screen, and then she like looks over and she touches a leaf, and it's like that's a cool shot. It doesn't really add anything to the movie, but I can see like that has to be in the movie. That looks so cool.
It's so aesthetic.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like a comic book where it's like I have a list of cool things that I want to show. I guess I also need a script, and the script is super weak, I gotta say.
Yeah, like all of the plot beats that we kind of go to don't really feed into. Like I feel like where we end up going, we don't get good hints to, because like basically, so let's go through the plot a little bit of this movie, just as far as like what happens. So yeah, so we get introduced to our main character Rhea, played by how's her name? It's not Eliza, that's an I. Isa Gonzalez, I'm gonna say.
Maybe.
Rhea, who she wakes up, she's got some wounds, she's in like a some kind of space station that is like has gone through some kind of attack. There's dead bodies everywhere with a cool detail I thought was something interesting is that she finds these dead bodies and their eyes are like glitching out, glowing green.
Yeah.
And shit, and I'm like, oh, like were they infected with some kind of weird thing?
Yeah. We spend way too much time doing this, by the way. She walks around looking at dead bodies for very extended, to the point where it was like, are we padding the runtime? Like, what are we doing here?
There's a lot of filler.
Like, I get it. It's dead bodies. I played Dead Space. Like, I've seen dead bodies on a space station before.
There's a lot of filler moments of her just looking around, or her like having a migraine, or like being like of her just kind of sitting trying to remember things. Like, and it
feels like this movie probably could have been like 40 minutes long.
Exactly. Like this could have been like a 40-minute short film, or like a Black Mirror episode, or like something, or like Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone looking ass.
It's got, I mean, like, the most striking thing about this movie is the aesthetic. Like, it's this like super heavy film grain, super strong primary colors, like, and super crazy trippy visuals that I think utilize AI. From my eye, I see AI footage specifically in like the horror flashbacks. Which I don't know how I feel about.
Some of the melting face effects, maybe. A
lot of stuff like that.
I didn't catch, personally, I didn't see anything that looked obviously AI to me, but you're a graphic design guy, so like you have a better eye for that. But also, like, I feel like it's scary that I feel like AI is starting to get so good that like
you can't even detect it.
I'm starting to get tripped up by it in some ways.
I'm seeing it on the big screen.
But like the aesthetic is really strong as far as like it's lit really well, and just they're very selective about kind of how they shoot and there are some sequences that some of the weakest effects scenes as far as like VFX in this movie are when there are extended sequences where they're out on the planet. And like later, like there are certain scenes where we see ships land, and it's just or ships flying through the atmosphere, and they look really video gamey. Like
the budget of this movie hasn't been like officially released. Yeah, I guess as like we were looking it up on the ride home.
Yeah, we can talk. Let's.
But like it looks pretty low budget. And like it looks like they stretched a budget, but a lot of it looks like, I think the thing I said was like a lot of it looks like an After Effects tutorial. Like it looks like a lot of the 3D models don't look very good. But the stuff where it's supposed to look trippy and uncanny, they did a really good job. Yeah,
I think for me the best scene where they are on the surface of the planet and we kind of get these white sauce. For me, they borrow a really cool technique from Alien, funnily enough, like something that reminded me a lot of the original Alien, where there's a scene where she's watching recorded footage from like someone's spacesuit cam or whatever, and it's kind of like low resolution, like shitty, and it's they're walking on the planet.
They used it like specifically to hide the shitty effects.
Exactly,
too.
And it's when they discover the terraforming machine, which that's its own stupid thing. But they awaken.
Oh my god! Yeah, we'll get to that.
But in my opinion, that sequence is the best looking like on planet sequence because we're watching it through this kind of shitty dash cam, and it is the exact same thing that Ridley Scott did in the first Alien, where like when they're approaching the ship in Alien, we never see it in like a clear shot. And Ridley Scott wanted to, but the miniature, he couldn't get it to look good, so it's like they literally like recorded a video of the thing like on a VHS camcorder, and then Ridley Scott like,
that's sick,
just like took a video of the monitor,
of the screen,
playing so it's like a very similar kind of technique that they probably put some filter over it in this, but like I feel
they
like
warp it and they put all this like tracking shit over it to make it look like a tape. And
I feel like
like I saw is like there's a lot of shit on screen that probably doesn't need to be here. I think this is trying to hide something.
Exactly. I think they should have done more of that because like that was really the only sequence of this movie that did when we were outside. But there was a lot of scenes of shitty CGI spaceships going through.
A lot of we were like, there are ships in No Man's Sky that look a lot better than the ones.
Yeah, I remember when they opened, like, what is this No Man's Sky ass planet?
The shot of the planet I thought looked really cool though.
Yeah,
like,
that is true. Yeah,
you see like the rivers and the different like geological structures and stuff on the surface. I thought that all looked great.
Yeah, no,
it really, there's a big range of quality and effects in this movie.
I think the design of some things is really cool, and then the design of some other things just conflict. Like we talked about, I think the actual planet itself, the skyline, the atmosphere, the terrain is really cool. I think that the costuming is really well done. The costume,
very eclectic design design choices.
It felt like almost like I want to see something like a Mass Effect movie or show, like done like that. Like the outfits gave me, their like little 7F thing gave me very Mass Effect.
Yeah, it looked very Mass Effect.
But
there's a lot of anime inspiration to like the design or like the visual style of this whole movie, to be honest. Even just like the font used for the title.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of. Yeah,
and it, like the aesthetic of this movie is very like art tutorial, if anyone knows what I mean by that. Like it's super like, this is sci-fi, this is cool, this is a cool thing to put on your reel.
I'm excited for when this movie comes out on streaming. I'm gonna make a VHS bootleg of it, and
it'll probably look a lot better.
I'm gonna get really high and project it like on the wall with my Galaxy projector going in the background.
That's a great idea.
That's gonna be the best way to experience this film. I think it is.
It's a fantastic idea.
I think it is gonna make a good VHS. I wanted to touch on the budget aspect of it, so, and just some of the behind the scenes. So this movie was produced by Shudder, or more accurately, produced by RLGE Films and distributed by Shudder in the United States. Outside of the United States, it's distributed by Amazon Prime Video. So in a few months in the US, it's going to go on.
You'll be able to watch it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, in a few months. Well, in the US, it's going to be on Shudder, but then outside of the US, it'll be on Amazon Prime. Yeah. And the only piece of information to kind of even like close to ascertain what the budget might be is looking at how much right here it was reported that Amazon acquired international distribution rights for around $10 million. So they paid so Amazon paid $10 million for the rights to distribute this movie internationally. And also looking at some of the other, so I was looking at,
I don't know if that's going to pay off.
I was looking at this company, RLJ Films, which, by the way, RLJ Films and Shudder are both, and IFC Films, which I was looking at, In a Violent Nature too, because it's a similar thing. All of these production companies and these like services are subsidiaries of AMC.
What?
Yeah, so like they're all owned by AMC, and they've been operating for, so RLJE Films, if you look at like their feature films, these are all they focus on direct to video, like cheesy sci-fi. Like if you look at like
This has that vibe.
Like I was looking through just like all of these movies, I looked through, some of them are just like made for TV or direct to video movies that made like no money. And they were all made.
And I mean, honestly, this movie feels like one of those movies in like 10 sci-fi movies in like a Walmart bin. It's just got a way stronger visual style than any of those movies. So I'm glad I saw it in the theater.
100%. Yeah, no, it was.
The script feels like that for sure, and so do the performances.
100%. And it's not like these guys haven't.
Music was good too.
It's not like these guys haven't had success. This company, like Color Out of Space, is a movie that is a cult film that I have not seen, but I've heard of. And this one has a budget. It's another thing that we can kind of ascertain. Color Out of Space, starring Nicolas Cage, had a budget of reportedly between 6 and 12 million. And like I have not seen that movie, but it's like a sci-fi in a small town kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think we can kind of assume that Ash would be around the same range.
I would imagine.
Especially with the $10 million bit from Amazon. Like it's probably...
Yeah. You can see the budgetary limitations on screen, which isn't a bad thing. You can make a movie for not fucking $200 million.
I would guess
we're ragging on the effects, but they still look decent.
Ragging on them. Like I think the practical effects are better than the VFX in this movie.
I agree.
I think like when people get zombified, like there's some pretty good gore, and then also it more has to do with the spaceships, because there's some CG with the alien. I think the alien stuff later, like the alien tech stuff later, looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like the scene, which is totally, once again, taking it from Prometheus, when she's getting the alien bug extracted from her head. I thought that all looked great, and that was super uncomfortable body horror stuff. You know?
There's a little Japanese surgery robot that that plays a really big part in the story.
Exactly. It's
a couple parts.
It's the Prometheus pod machine, which that little Japanese robot medical thing also has a weird aesthetic that feels separate from the rest of it.
It just feels like a million different ideas kind of put on top of each other that don't really correspond to each other. And then the story is just on top of that, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the aesthetic.
Yeah. There was a really big distinction with their spacesuits in this movie, which I don't think that it's a bad design. When I look at Ash,
typed in Ash, and we see all these photos of Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think the spacesuits themselves are a bad design, and that's not even them.
They look okay,
but they just they have such a different kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, from
the rest of the technology we see in the movie, which none of the like
they have this like sort of organic look to parts of them.
Yeah, like Borg, Star Trek Borg looking, type shit. And I said, I don't think they look, but they look very like high, expensive YouTube short film type.
Yes, this whole movie looks like that. Yeah,
exactly. Like the
Kickstarter short film.
Exactly. But yeah, no, like I said, I do think, you can tell that there was effort here. You can tell that there was like this was a project that people like had fun on and cared about.
Passion. There's passion here.
And I am excited to see Flying Lotus. What more has he made any other movies, or is this his first film? Let's say like he made Grand Theft Auto 5.
He was an in-game. Wait, what?
He curating under he curated and hosted the in-game radio station Flylow FM and Grand Theft Auto 5.
He's in GTA 5.
That's cool.
And then he directed Ash.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, his only other he directed a segment of VHS 1999, the anthology.
Cool.
So yeah, so Ash is his feature film, and I think
he should have had a writing partner.
Yeah.
And this movie would have been a lot better. I would have really liked this. If the script was strong, this would have been like my favorite movie of the year just on aesthetic alone. But the aesthetic cannot carry this movie for me.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube review of this movie that I watched where this guy was really like, or he's like, best horror movie of the year. Like, nothing's going to top this. I'm like, no.
I just don't see it.
It's got problems.
It does.
I want to talk more about some specific plot points that were lazy or kind of drove us nuts in a second. Talking a little bit more about the plot of this movie. Pretty much, we're dealing with two timelines. We're dealing with Rhea, and pretty soon into the movie, Aaron Paul shows up, Brian, which I didn't know that his name was spelled fucking
Brian.
Yeah. Spelled
both
weird.
of their this is weird. This is probably just a me thing, but their hair seems so just like their hair and wardrobe for both of them seems so just like Chat GPT. Give me two sci-fi characters.
Give me sci-fi haircut. Give me
exactly. He's got like this like mohawk, this like try-hard messy mohawk.
It's like messy wide mohawk.
It's like, are you an astronaut or like are you like a freedom fighter or something?
Are you an astronaut or are you
edge runner
in the human resistance for against the machines? Like, yeah, no, there's like kind of like they don't know where they want to be along. Like, do they want these people to be like scrappy, like space scavengers? How
scruffy do you want this to be? Because if it is scruffy like Alien, everyone is way too pretty.
I get the sense that it's supposed to be like kind of a well-funded, like scientific, like more in the way that they talk about the mission.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily like what some of the characters are giving you.
No.
But yeah, it's mostly her and Aaron Paul in the present timeline. And then throughout the movie, we kind of get a flashback we get these little flashbacks, some of them horror, some of them contextual. Like just
the movie kind of spins its wheels for a little while, just being like, oh, she's getting flashbacks of her killing everybody.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I almost think that this movie would have actually worked better if they had just told the story linearly. Like,
I agree.
Like, I think that it would have been like the reveals as to things like they get down to the planet. They find the terraforming. There's like a weird infection going on.
We're introduced to the actual monster like 10 minutes before the final confrontation with it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird how it shows up. Like
it's like not present for most of the movie. Like it's a mystery for most of the movie, like what it even is, and then it's just like, spoiler alert. Oh, it's an alien life form that takes over people's bodies.
Yeah,
and it's dead. Oh, but it's not.
Yeah. No, it there's a lot of like but there's a lot of buts and not a lot of therefores or however.
Exactly.
There's a lot of like and there's a lot of
and thens.
Yeah, but not buts.
Yeah, this movie has a couple like cardinal sins of screenwriting that I noticed, but
yeah, no, just like there are different sci-fi ideas that feel very disconnected.
Yeah,
throughout this whole movie,
there's cool stuff in here. Like for instance, the terraforming holes in the ground.
Yeah, no, those are crazy.
It's a cool idea, and then these well-educated astronauts come up to and they're first, literally 2 minutes from walking up to this like technological hole in the ground,
giant alien,
and you look
space
in it,
hole.
and it's all these crazy colors and stuff, and they're like, "This is the key to terraforming. I'm gonna drop a big rock in it." So they literally pick up a big rock and they throw it down. And is that the catalyst? Is that what causes everything to go to shit?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that is what causes the alien space god or whatever like releases. It's like
it's not worse than the Prometheus thing.
It's kind of like the infection itself. They kind of described as like it's a technology. It's some kind of like tech goop that is from this alien species that is
Prometheus.
Yeah, it's Prometheus but dumber.
Yeah,
like Prometheus itself wasn't that smart either.
No, it's dumber than the Prometheus taking the helmet off and looking at the alien thing. It's like a caveman. It's like the beginning of 2001 where they like the apes are like completely in awe of the monolith.
Yeah. It is like kind of a crazy moment to reveal when you do see that big hole, because you're like, whoa, aliens.
It's
but
cool.
But the characters themselves, as they talk about the situation, the fact that it's
They're
aliens.
like, yes, hell yeah,
well,
aliens.
They're like, I feel like they're focusing on the wrong thing. They don't establish in this movie directly whether or not like they know about aliens elsewhere or whatever. But I feel like from what they give us, they should be more fascinated with the fact that, or more concerned at least, like, oh, this is alien technology, like we have not encountered aliens before. But they're immediately like, no, it's terraforming. That's what's interesting about it. Like, that's the yoke that they take, that like they're taking from it, like the most. And it doesn't really make any sense, because that's not the thing that I feel like as an audience member I was the most curious about. Like the questions I was asking, like, oh my god, who put these here? How long have they been here? How, you know? And that's not really what they're concerned about.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, this is just here. And then we're supposed to be interested in the alien later when it talks to us through our brain.
I thought that was a spooky moment. I'm not gonna lie. I like
the alien talk. I mean, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like the way that they did the subtitles. like stylistically, it's cool.
You see the alien language, and then it translates it to the English, and the alien is kind of saying the same shit that all the aliens say. Like,
it's a Dalek. It's a Dalek, but it works like the necromorphs from Dead Space.
Yeah, it's a space bug in her brain.
Yeah,
and it's telling her
an infection that spreads to living matter.
And it's like, you guys will join our collective. You'll join us or whatever.
Yep, it's the Borg.
Yeah, and she's immediately like, no, fuck you. That's another thing that was kind of confusing to me. They never explained why she was special. Because everybody else that got hit,
hot.
Because she's hot. Because she's the main character.
Yeah, she's the protagonist.
Because she's hot. Because
she was the first one on the planet, wasn't she? In a scene that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, she was the first. One small step for hot people. Yeah,
finally.
Yeah, but yeah, no, she was the first one on the planet, and yeah, but I guess that ultimately
That's the only thing I could think of.
They built that up as a big thing, and ultimately it didn't matter because they
didn't even show it.
When the shit that hit the fan hits the fan, it's when the whole crew is out there.
Yeah, it's well after all that.
So yeah, why even build that up to a big moment? Yeah, the thing is,
it's probably just like it was an attempt at like character definition, but it just never really went anywhere because the characters were uninteresting.
Definitely
interchangeable.
Yeah, I feel like there were this script. If they wanted to keep this structure of the flashbacks, at the very least, I do think they probably needed to go through like another draft, because there are plot points that are raised and not brought up, and like scenes that are referenced that like don't make, like there's a whole thing they talk about the direction I thought this movie was going. Yeah. What I think is which is a better movie in my. So early on, when Jesse shows up. We keep interchangingly. I say Aaron Paul, Jesse, Brian.
Pinkman shows up.
Jesse shows up, and he starts kind of bringing up like, I knew that you and what's his name were close. Which this I forget. I've seen this actor in other stuff. I want to make sure. Damn it, I can't. Beulah Cole.
Beulah
Cole. Oh, was he not the person I was thinking? I thought that I recognized him from
racist moment
from Talk to Me. Wait, is it not the dude from Talk to Me? Hold up. Wait, is that not the dude from Talk to Me?
I saw that way too long ago. I don't know.
Is it? I thought he was the dude, the guy, one of the guys who had the hand. But
they don't all look the same, Elsie.
Yeah, no, that's me pulling a racism. I want to know who that guy is, though. I want to make sure I'm not crazy. Hold up, we're going to talk, folks at home. Wikipedia.
We're taking a little detour. What the fuck? Talk to Meville.
What the fuck is that dude's name?
How the hell should I know?
Oh god, he's Rhea Duckett.
They don't all have blue names.
Cole, Duckett's brother. I think Duckett was like the NB one who had the hand. I think
I couldn't tell you a single human being's name in that movie.
That definitely not him.
That's not him.
Wait, I need to know this fucking dude's name. Hold up. Marcus
Johnson,
Sonny Johnson, Haley. It's none of these fucking people.
Damn.
Jade, Mia's friend. Joe Bird is Riley, Jade's brother. I need to figure out who this person is because I'm gonna wait. Hold up. Is it Joe Bird? No, it's not. It's not him. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out later. Wait, no, what if it's okay, last one. It might be this guy.
Please God.
It is this guy. This is the guy I'm thinking about.
It's two different dudes.
I confused this man, which folks at home, the actor's name is for the if you want to listen in is Chris
Alonso.
Alosio. We got too many tabs open now.
Yeah, I can't. You can't even see the words on them.
Yeah, I was confusing him for a different guy. Anyway, yeah,
a different fella.
That was me being racist. Anyway, but yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
I forgive you.
Long story short, he has a romance. This guy, who's a guy on the ship, has a romance with our main character. That's talking about. Aaron Paul brings it up, and I was getting the sense that like, oh, did Aaron Paul like do something to the crew in order to get her alone? He starts talking about like their purpose.
Nope. It's way less interesting than that.
Yeah,
it's way less interesting than anything you think it could be.
I thought it was going to be some weird, space incel shit, and like I thought that was the direction it was going. And while I remember thinking like that's kind of like basic and maybe not as interesting sci-fi wise, like it would have been a more consistent story.
They pulled some bullshit. They did like he wasn't there the whole time.
Oh, I
he was
hate
a projection. Yeah, me too. It's overdone. Like, and honestly, it like knocked the movie down for me when that happened. It was like, oh my God, I saw this in Joker, and it was old then too.
Yeah. They even did the like showing earlier scenes in the movie with him there, and then it's like, oh, he's not actually there.
Yeah, they went through and they showed like 5 different scenes. It's like I get it. I've seen them movie before.
I've got a feeling that wasn't originally what they intended. I got a feeling that they kind of
I think you give these movies a lot of benefit of the doubt sometimes.
Maybe there's because here's the thing, because I'm right about Mickey 17. I don't have evidence.
You were.
As far as I don't have evidence
agree with that.
As far as like there's definitely like plot points that were erased and scenes that were used. I think we might have a similar thing here where they had bigger plans for Jesse. And
maybe
they didn't go through, or I don't know. Yeah, maybe they just had a shitty script.
It kind of just like forgets that it's a monster movie until like the last like 20 minutes, and then it's like, okay, time for all the monster movie stuff.
Yeah.
Guess what? She's gonna burn it. Don't worry. She's got a flamethrower.
Now it's the thing.
Her iconic plasma cutter from Dead Space. I mean Ash.
Oh yeah, wait, no, that's my prop. I liked her little plasma cutter gun.
Yeah, they like showed a lot of close-ups of it. They were like, we want people to make this for cosplays.
Yeah, no, I immediately was thinking like, oh, am I gonna go home and download Dead Space? No, I'm gonna just keep playing Cyberpunk.
Do it. The remake's really good.
Well, no, I'm gonna keep playing. That'll give me the.
You should. Yeah, it'll give you the sci-fi boost that you need.
You know, it's fun. We're like when we move soon, we have plan. I personally have plans to play some games once we move. Yeah. But we're gonna play through Split Fiction when we move, and I'm excited.
Nice.
First week we're there. But anyway,
Split Fiction looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, It Takes Two is amazing, and all I've heard with Split Fiction is that it is equally, if not more, amazing.
I'm pumped.
But yeah, with Ash taking it back,
shows you how interested we are in Ash.
Exactly. Now this is the It Takes Two podcast. But yeah, so with Ash, the movie ends with like the big reveal is that she was infected the whole time. Yeah. And that Aaron Paul is an illusion by the aliens.
Flashback to her discovering an alien and fucking around with it and getting everybody killed. And then the virus spreads, and there's actually a pretty cool fight scene.
Yeah, no, my favorite sequence in the movie probably is that extended flashback where the alien is revealing her what's going on, and you see exactly.
It's a brain worm. It goes in through people's noses, and it looks really grody. It goes in through people's ears. It looks really grody.
I like the idea. I like... It's something that's interesting about it is that we see pretty much 2 people get possessed. We see Iko Uwais, who's the dude from the raid, which immediately I knew he's going to be doing some fighting. And he does some kung fu moves when he's possessed.
Yes.
And then
it's pretty cool.
And then the guy that I was racist towards gets he's a big dude. And he plays it like a Deadite from Evil Dead or something. Like he's like
he like smiles in this weird way.
He's like snarling and roaring, and like he's his face gets like
it's like a demon. Yeah,
exactly. And I want to see him like when they eventually do the next Evil Dead movie. I want to see him play a Deadite. We need to have an Evil Dead episode soon.
Absolutely.
But
yeah. So. The alien kind of like jumps from person to person, takes over their brain, and then we realize that the alien has been in her brain the whole movie.
Yeah.
It went in through a tiny, tiny head wound, and I was like, why couldn't they have made that head wound like a little bigger and nastier? You know,
I remember thinking that it was kind of a weird shape, that it was like kind of a weird V. I'm
it
like,
was
I wonder
just
what
so
caused that.
small. Like,
Yeah, I think that I think that's what added to the violation element, though, because like when it was going in, it was like, especially when Jesse put his fingers through.
Yeah, there's like a really uncomfortable like surgery scene where she's getting that wound stitched up, and it's like this like surgery bot is like needlessly like harsh and like painful on people just because it's a horror movie. That's literally the only reason.
It seems like it like kills her for a second.
Yeah, it like really hurts.
Almost, yeah.
And then later on in the movie it pulls the alien out of her head, and it's like this really extended sequence where she dies briefly, and it and it just like yanks it out like it's picking a nose.
Yeah.
And then it jumps into Jesse's dead body, and we have a big The Thing fight where she gets to burn it.
Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty fun fight. It's well choreographed.
Yeah, sorry.
The CG's okay.
Yeah, the practical effects on Aaron Paul's face.
Yeah.
It looks great. Like that's clearly like this was clearly like the point of the movie.
Yeah, I said it earlier, but I'll reiterate it that I think this movie would have been. I could have forgiven a lot more of the dumb stuff if there was more of that good horror, because I definitely feel like when this movie leans into horror, that's when it's its strongest.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, if they had just kind of focused on that more, and then honestly, they could have even just like left more of the movie up to interpretation. Maybe we would have never found out what the tubes are exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's not that. It's a Sci-Fi Channel original movie, dude.
Exactly.
It's not that kind of movie.
It's got that kind of vibe. It's funny that I feel like a lot of Shudder originals, like I haven't watched any really. I mean, with the exception of In a Violent Nature, but that's its own thing. But like a lot of the Shudder original, like the ads I've seen for stuff, all has this like Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah. I like Shark Serial Killer movie that I saw the trailer for.
That does look sick. I am excited for that. What's it called?
I don't remember. Blood in the Water or some bullshit.
Yeah, Blood Water.
Something. 2025.
Little Bites. What's it called? It might not be Red Room's Last Straw.
No, yeah, it's not on here yet.
Yeah, but exclusive and original. I think that might be.
Damn, they've been pumping these fucking things out. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. They don't fuck around. Original films, feature films. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like with those kind, they
and they're all an hour and a half long.
I feel like and Shudder and like companies like Shudder, their rules is like we're gonna pump out as much as we can for as cheap as we can, and whatever sticks to the wall. Like, In a Violent Nature is the thing that has stuck to the wall, and even then, not that many people saw it.
Yeah,
you know, like every once in a while they'll make it's the at-bats. They'll make something that sticks.
Yep, it just depends on the director.
Yeah,
but yeah. She gets away somehow. I don't remember, and she gets on a ship to go up to a. She's finally relaxed because she's going up to this satellite on this poorly rendered ship. Mm-hmm. And I leaned over and it's like it's on there. It's on the escape pod.
Yeah.
And the credits start rolling, and then there's a mid-credit scene.
Like a mid-credit scene, yes.
Where it's a really lame ending because it takes over the whole space satellite thing in like this big biomass for some reason.
Yeah,
it's a lame ending.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's like it'd be different if it wasn't a million things you've seen already.
Yeah. In
like different, better forms. Like Dead Space does this idea better. The Borg is a better version of this idea. Like it's just taking things from a bunch of different concepts that we've seen done like more iconic. So all you're thinking of is the bigger, better ones.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Sci-fi is about new ideas.
Exactly. Yeah, this movie added to my I'm still teetering on the edge of whether or not I want to get a subscription to Shudder, because I think about it, because I do love these kind of movies, but I need to be in a mood for like a lot of it's like this kind of mid stuff.
Yeah, I don't want it.
You know, I think for right now, I will recommend it as far as a theater experience. As far as like, it's definitely
get fucking blazed before.
Get high, go see it in a theater. Also, just like in general, this is like a low budget movie from like a studio that is trying to put out, you know, like it feels like there wasn't a lot of hands. Like, this was made by people. This was not made by a company. And like,
the sets look like ass, by the way. Not to dunk on this movie too hard for its budget, but I've seen better sets on indie movies. Yeah,
I think that this movie has potential, and these are the kind of movies that I think we that people should support, you know, because like this super cheap little mid movie is way more important to see than like Indiana Jones 5, which is a mid movie that cost $300 million.
I agree with that statement. You should go and see it if you're interested.
Yeah. And definitely when it comes out on Shudder, I also think, you know, if you have especially if you have like a nice surround sound system, like big TVs are cheap nowadays. When it comes out on Shudder, like
if you've got colored LEDs in your room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vibe movie, especially like it'd probably be a decent movie to put on at like a party or something.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like a Halloween.
The dialogue sucks.
Exactly. No, this is definitely this movie has its place. Yes. I'm excited. I think it'll make a good VHS.
Yes,
I'll probably enjoy it more on VHS.
Synthy, big soundtrack. It's really, the music's great.
Yeah, no, the music definitely is good as well. But yeah, no, worth checking out. Check it out. What's your prop? I already said I'm taking the space gun. I like her space gun.
I liked the surgery bot with the robo arm. I liked its little. It didn't fit, but I liked its little low res monochrome screen, and it like talks at you in Japanese and has these little jingles. I think that's cool. It did not fit the aesthetic of the rest of the movie, but it was cool.
Yeah,
it looked like it would be cool in like Alien or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would have fit more in something like Prometheus. I feel like Ridley Scott's designs for some of the higher end stuff has that like kind of organic, kind of retro future feel, whereas this movie jumps around between being retro future and like future.
Yes.
But no, Ash. It was a fun time. Probably we saw, also another thing is that we saw this movie on kind of unknowingly on like a discount Tuesday.
We saw it for $5 a ticket, and I already had cinema credit, so we saw it for free.
So Cinemark does that. I know for a fact that AMC is a similar like discount Tuesday thing, which it seems like a lot of theaters are doing that kind of thing. So if you can see it on a matinee or like on a discount day or whatever, definitely worth checking it out.
Yep.
But yeah,
check it out. Go see it. It's low budget. Give them your views.
That's that. This has been Midnight Movie Gang. Be on the lookout for content related to our live show coming up. We have a thing where we're going to be recording a commentary and roasting Godzilla 1998 with a
movie that I've watched probably like 20 times in my childhood.
So it'll be interesting. Look forward to seeing content from that. A lot of fun stuff coming. There might be a bit of a lull in content as we try to figure stuff out. I'm moving soon, so like
lifestyle changes.
Yeah, so maybe I might have to like skip a week in there or something, or we'll have to bulk record, or I don't know. But yeah, there might be. We're still doing stuff, but life is lifing.
It's happening
indeed. But thank you so much for listening. You can check us out at Midnight Movie Gang Podcast on YouTube, at Midnight Movie Gang on Instagram and other places, and where you listen to all podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, all that.
Yes, sir.
This it's 7:57 p.m. night, Movie Gang, and thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
So, here we go. With childish frustrations and complexes which the police are searching for James Thomas, believed to be the lover of Miss Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Where's everybody that I'm here to walk out? Oh, please tell me where they've gone. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How could I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think?